Welcome to World on the Move.
What's cracking, y'all?
How y'all doing out there today?
It is your boy, Terrence the Titan, and
Brain.
we're human for the second time today, man. Y'all know how it goes and the trials and tribulations you face as a content creator, dog. But we back at it again. We ain't gonna let the devil ruin what God has put in our hearts type of prayer to give to y'all. Queens, how long we got today?
Today we're talking about how to repair damaged or broken relationships. Whew.
Man, y'all, I remember when creating and coming up with this video topic idea. What you text me from? tell him exactly.
I say woo, woo. When he texts me this topic, this is his topic he chose because we go backwards and forwards on different topics what we want to talk about, and we share that particular responsibility. I just was like, I don't know about talking about this. I have some broken relationships that I couldn't repair, and so I didn't think that I had any experience in this area. And so God immediately convicted me and was like, you do. You have some relationships that you were able to restore, and then you had some relationships that you had to sever, and you can speak about those.
Yo, I text her the idea. She texted me back, oops.
I did say that.
But it's so real because it's such a sensitive topic, and you really gotta think about it for real. Do I really have the tools? Yes, I do. Number one, God has given us the tools. But number two, we've all been in situations where we might have had the total goal to repair this relationship, but somebody else didn't have the same goal as we did, and it all goes up in flames, and you feel like I tried my best when you just didn't have the right dancing partner for building a great relationship.
I completely agree with that. So I'm going to give you the 3 points up first, so you can know what we are talking about and the points that we're going to talk about, so you can be fully invested into what we have to say today. So our 3 points today is point 1, we're going to face the truth with honesty and humility. Point 2, we're going to rebuild trust through consistency, not promise. And point 3, we're going to learn to forgive and redefine the relationship. Let's talk about some things, okay? So, point 1, facing the truth with honesty and humility. What is the hardest part about admitting where you went wrong in the relationship?
The truth is, we all love to blame something on somebody else. We all focus on, instead of throwing rocks, the goal is not to throw the rock, it's to build a rock. Oof. The goal is not to throw big boulders from the mountain, it's to build the mountain. So I feel like the hardest truth is saying, you know what? I didn't do things how they needed to be done. Either there were some miscommunication points, or whatever they were. You can't build a new relationship or rebuild and rediscover a relationship and not see what could have been done better on your behalf.
Ooh, that right there can preach. I'm going to give an example of something that went wrong in our relationship that caused us to have to face the truth with honesty. A couple of years back now, my son moved out. And the way that he did it, he moved rather quickly. It wasn't no communication. He wasn't an adult at this particular time, but we was friends. And when he moved out with no communication, and I was upset, but I didn't know how to deal with the feelings that I was feeling, because I was wrestling with him being an adult. He can do whatever he wants, and him being my friend. The lines were still kind of blurred at that particular time. It was hurt that was there, because first, the way that he moved out, The area that he was moving in, I was not too sold on the safety as well as a couple other things as a parent, to be honest with you. But we had to work through that. And how we worked through it, he didn't move back immediately. I started to begin to text him when God allowed that door to open, because at first he was like, he's busy. He didn't have time to meet up with me. And so I just really thought I really did something to cause harm, where he didn't want to talk to me anymore. But he did answer me one day, and I started going to his new place and spending time with him there. When I was going over there, I didn't feel compelled to be judgmental or ask any questions about what he's doing with his life. But I just sat with my friend and just ranting with him about just how you doing, how you been, just the day, the everyday struggles, whatever we wanted to talk about that particular day. I sat with him through this transition, even though I didn't like his transition. You want to say something about that?
Oh yeah. We're going to get further into the situation deeper as we go into this podcast. But just to give y'all a little bit on my end, what she means by really having to really, feel those emotions. As I moved out, I did it out of spite. I did it in a way where she didn't have no time to prepare or digest. It was one day, hey, I'm nearby, I'm coming to get my stuff, I'm moving out. It was a very flashbang. There was no conversation, nowhere we could digest, no conversation on what happened or what's going on. It's very big, and it left a lot of things up for interpretation.
Mm-hmm. So, dealing with the truth and honesty and humility from that, I had to accept things for how they were. Even if I didn't like them, even if I didn't like the way he did it, I had to accept it for how it was. And then I had to be truthful and humble myself to be like, hey, I want this relationship so bad. I'm just not going to just up and leave and base our relationship all over something the way that I didn't like, the way he chose to do his life. And so humbling myself meant that I'm not looking at this incident or event no longer from a mother's standpoint. I'm looking at it from, this is my friend, and even though I did not like the way that he did certain things, I still love him, and I don't want to sever the relationship. Let's see how we can work through this. Point 2, rebuilding trust through consistency and not promise. My question is, what does rebuilding trust really look like day to day?
Rebuilding trust is, I feel like the best way to describe rebuilding trust is, number one, going back to our other podcast and communication and transparency, because building trust and things of that nature and building a relationship that was deeply damaged, transparency and communication is the number one thing that you will be dependent on in building that ground again.
That's the truth. I truly agree with that. What we did in this particular case to build the trust is we started spending time together in atmospheres where we both enjoy doing the same activity. So I went to his house. I sat in his area. I spent time with him and his dog in his particular area. We made arrangements where we can meet up and have lunch and do the things that we would normally do when he was in the home.
But she met me where I was at and made me feel comfortable and safe.
Yep. I met you right where you were at. You were at this to let you know that I want this friendship, and it's not about what you did. It's like, okay, you didn't have to share. You being an adult, and adults don't always have to share their first, second, third move, and they're playing with you or what have you. So once God revealed to me what I needed to do as his friend as opposed to as his mother, that's what I did. That trust allowed us to literally transition to a friendship actually, without actually saying it with our mouth that we friends. We were kind of forced into looking at each other as adults that is developing a friendship.
A new playing field.
Yep, we're on the same playing field now because he's no longer my son. As I'm looking at a relationship as my son because he can choose to do life with me or not. He has that choice. Just like sometimes your brothers and your sisters, y'all grew up together, but they're not your best friends. So he could choose to do life with me or not. So building that trust looks like acceptance. It looks like transparency. It looks like having those hard talks with love and being kind. Saying that you're gonna do something, and if you can't do it, you having that communication. Checking on each other, and also not holding different things in your heart with that. When that person do something, you holding those certain like stripes, so you can blow up. You learning to forgive rather quickly, talk about it, and move on. So that's what building trust look like day to day.
That's true.
Point 3. Learn to forgive and rebuild and redefine the relationship. Can you truly forgive someone without reconnecting with them?
I love this specific question because we talked about it in the first time we filmed it, but I want to revisit this because we built a very big piece. I remember exactly what I said. I said there were 2 answers to that question. I said there was a yes and there was 2 sides. Basically, the first side. If there's someone that genuinely loves you, they're going to make sure they do exactly what they need to do or what they can to get back into your good graces. There is a even playing field, even if we don't agree on everything. When you two love each other so much and really want to build that relationship, there's an even playing field, even if we don't agree on each and everything. So that forgiveness will come. I feel like a lot of that will come in, and yes, that is able to happen. But I feel like it's also a yes when, you have to forgive that person strictly for your peace of mind, strictly because, you might be thinking about a relationship, you might be thinking about something that happened or that relationship, and that person might not even be thinking about that or the same thing in the same time that you are.
Mm-hmm. True.
But tell them what you said because those were my points on it. And I gave a side when it's equal playing field and everybody is trying to build back together to make a beautiful common ground.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing it for peace of mind. But tell them the way you said it because I really loved how you said it.
Basically, for me, I agree with some of the things that you said, but some things I do disagree because there are relationships that I could not rebuild, and I had to forgive and move on. When 2 people are not willing to work at the relationship and respect each other and respect each other's boundaries and continue to develop and build a relationship, you can't go no further because not one person can carry the relationship. You're going to have to separate that relationship. Not saying you separate it because you no longer love the person. You can still love someone because love really never dies. But you can't walk together if y'all not in agreement. And you can't do life with people that's not willing to transition and change with you as you grow in life. Both of you have to have that same type of grace and respect for each other. So, yes, I do agree with you that you can rebuild, connect when both of you guys love each other. But love is just not enough when you don't have a person that want to change with you and respect your boundaries and respect who you are as a person and where you are at and y'all working together. It's sometimes you're going to have to sever the relationship and love that person from afar.
That's right.
Now it's time for your favorite moment, Titan motivation. This is our segment on that. Oh, before we start, I'm sorry. I'll always like to recap. Let me recap so you can know how to rebuild or to repair relationships after, there have been a broken heart. 1, face the truth with honesty and humility. 2, rebuild with trust through consistency and not promise. And 3, learn to forgive and redefine the relationship. That's how you should rebuild your relationship after it has been broken. Now it's time for Titan motivation.
Since I love this podcast. I love what we've been doing, especially in this episode as well. But since we didn't get to go in depth with the story as we previously did with the last one, I want to kind of include them on that because I don't want them to miss out on those, on those tidbits as well.
Okay.
So, I'm going to give a short version, but an easy version for people to be able to understand. So basically, I never was a person to really quit my job, but this was back when I was younger, and I just walked off my job. Months passed by, and it seemed like I was going into a mood that I really wasn't going into, but that conversation wasn't had. The conversation that was had and was perceived as was, you're becoming a man now. I really feel like you need to get a job, contribute to this household. You can't be in my house and not be contributing. You're going to have to, get tightened up and get a job and start building your career as you get older if you're going to be living in my house. But let's start with a job. I'm going to need you to get a job by this time or you're going to have to move out. Now, how my mom described it, she said it basically as a check on the pulse because it looked like I was going down a direction that I wasn't supposed to or out of my character. I never walked off a job before. So, you want to, give
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
But basically, after that conversation and the time passed by to that move out period, I felt I was very hurt from that conversation. Well, really all we had to do was have a more in-depth conversation about what she really meant and what we really wanted to get from each other and communicating with each other. But instead, we created this big divide. So that goes directly into what she said. I moved out and I wanted, there's part of me that kind of wanted to hurt her in a way. So I didn't tell her what I was going to do. I was in the area. I said, hey, I'm moving out. I didn't give her time to prepare. I didn't give her time. It was like a big flashbang. I came and got my stuff and left. And it didn't give her, we didn't have no conversation. It left a lot of things up for interpretation. And it was something that could have been settled with a conversation, created a big divide, and was one of the lowest points we had in our relationship. And that goes into what we talked about in this podcast today, that those points from the things we talked about that brought us to the position that we are now.
Yep. Thank you for clarifying that. So it brings everything all to a whole 360 story, so you can really see that we had to really walk this out ourselves. We are not giving you points that we just made out the sky. We giving you points that it was a journey to get here.
Oh no, this is non-scripted, not a scripted event.
It's not. It's not. So are you ready for Titan motivation? Because I'm ready.
Oh yeah, I am. I just wanted to get back to that for those people that, may have wanted to hear that information and really understand that this is not something that we just thought about. This is something that we really walked out.
Oh, and I respect what you're saying. I respect if you have to halt anything. That's why we work together. So it's all good.
Now it's time for the Titan motivational quote of the day. And the thing that I thought about today, make sure your echolocation is on. Now, echolocation, which means you can hear everything around you. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. There's not relationships there's a lot of times where we get into these relationships and these little things happen that it requires you to take multiple scratches from hearing it or verbal abuse or something that hurts you, but you feel like you could take it, so you stay involved. But you're still hearing what's going on, and just because it's a little cut, the more you get cut, the deeper the cut will be, and you're going to eventually bleed out. So when I say keep your echolocation on, it's number one, understand. People know what they're doing. If they're hurting you and you've talked to them multiple times, understand. Some relationships you're going to have to do exactly what Brain said in this episode. You're going to have to step back and you're going to have to understand that, I forgive you, but we're no longer serving each other in a productive manner. Or number two, somebody's hurting you, but keep your echolocation on. It's okay to have these hard conversations, those ones that, put a little pain in your chest because it hurts and there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you go through, but y'all talk it out and it makes your relationship stronger in the end. Keep your echolocations on. Don't just, the best way to say it is take a relationship as its whole, not just pieces, as in the whole thing. And that's what I mean by echolocation. It's not one little small part. It's not just take out specific pros and specific cons. The whole echolocation, the whole thing.
I agree. Ooh, that's so good. Echolocation.
Echolocation.
I like that. So now it's time for Brain Wisdom, the love letter to my son. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Share.
Comment rebuilding.
I love that.
Comment rebuilding. If you are in the rebuilding phase of your relationship, comment rebuilding.
I love it.
So bye, Titan. Peace out.
I love y'all, man. I really been enjoying doing this podcast with y'all, man. This is like a roadmap to construction and building a relationship. I hope the people that watch these videos can not only seek motivation, love, and a little bit of entertainment from, we get a little ghetto sometimes, but understand that, we give these roadmaps to build a great and solid relationship. I love y'all, man. It is your boy, Terrence the Titan. Peace.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. Comment. If you are in a rebuilding phase of your relationship, comment rebuild. I want to share with you something today. One of your important relationships that you're going to have is going to be with your wife. And that's going to be your life partner. I want you to make sure that you understand that you guys going to be in different types of phases in your relationship. Make sure that when you are in the rebuilding phase of the relationship, you leave nothing unsaid. You build that relationship. You forgive. You be consistent in what you're saying to her. You communicate your feelings and how something feels. You love on her. You also do this with your children. When you go through different things with your kids, invest in that relationship. If you're wrong, say forgive me and stop what you're doing, the behavior. If you need to take a break on something, do it. Do what's necessary to build strong relationships with the community that's around you. Remember, your most important relationship is not ours. It's gonna be with your wife. We're gonna have to part so you can cling to your wife. I love you. This is the reason why I do this podcast, because I want to have a love, wisdom walk with you in life when I'm here and when I'm gone. Thank you for watching. World on the Move.